Wednesday, February 4th, 2015, and you're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show. The Elevator Radio Show is a proud supporter of the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation. To find out how you can make a difference, visit their website today, www.eesf.org. Hey, everybody, got a good short show for you today, so stay tuned. Here it comes.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Hello, yes. Hello, everybody. It is good to be here. Yeah, yes, it is. I'm multitasking right now. Let's be quiet now. Hey, everybody. Yes, this is Tom Seibert. I'm the host of the Elevator Radio Show. It's good to be here this Wednesday morning, where, for those of you out there, I thought we had dodged a bullet by not getting hit by that huge snowstorm that slammed the East Coast. But, man, we got it on Sunday, and what turned into a winter storm advisory basically evolved and turned into a blizzard warning, mainly by Sunday morning. And as many of you know, that was Super Bowl Sunday, and which was okay because it was a good opportunity to kind of stay inside if you were able to enjoy the game, shovel if you needed to. But man, it snowed all day long, and I think we had something like 14 inches, which again is nothing compared to what many of you got hit with out in Boston. But man, I'm just tired of it. Plus, then we had a snow. Only got 1 inch of snow last night on the way home, but it was right at commuter time, so literally it took an hour to get home last night, when it only takes about a half an hour 45. So I know it can always be worse, but man, it was. I'm tired of shoveling. Really tired of it. So what made it really bad was all the snowdrifts that were out there and whatnot. So anyway, if you're tuned in for the very first time, this is the Elevator Radio Show podcast. It is an audio and a video type program that's produced every Wednesday morning, where I go scour the internet for all sorts of news articles relating to elevators, escalators, moving walkways, lift devices, whatever you want to call it, and I basically package it into a nice little whoozy doozy that you get to listen to. If you don't want to listen to or you don't want to watch, just go ahead and click through the links, and then I share my own 2 cents on those articles and those stories. And just keep in mind that these opinions are not those opinions of anybody else other than mine. It could be totally off base and totally wrong. I have a tendency of butchering names and not pronouncing things the way they're supposed to, but hey, that's what the deal is, and I haven't been fired yet. Considering I make no money at this, that is totally okay. So if anyone wants to fire me, go right ahead. But we do have a good show for you today. Not a ton of articles to talk about, just a couple emails too to cover. Hey, Carl from Maxton, thank you so much. Maxton Manufacturing, I should say. Thanks for stopping by last week and dropping off some hats for the monthly prize pack giveaway. I am so sorry I was not able to see you when you dropped those off. I was stuck on a call, and I apologize for that. Hopefully your educational program seminar went well at H&H Motors, and hopefully you had a good time before heading back home. Also, the Mesa Association, or Massachusetts Elevator Safety Association. Eric writes, we hope you all survived the snow. Just as a reminder, our next meeting is February 10th, 2015, 2:30 p.m. We look forward to hearing from William Seymour of Seymour Technologies to discuss VVVF hydraulic drive systems that virtually eliminates heat problems and eliminates soft starters. Also offers a great improved ride in terms of acceleration, deacceleration, and leveling. We'll be meeting at the Phillips Old Colony in Dorchester, Massachusetts, and or go to bostondining.com And just as a reminder, those of you out there that may have not sent in your 2015 Mesa membership applications, please do so today or bring it to Joe at your next meeting. That membership form can be found over at mesassoc.com or mesassoc.com. I'm pretty sure. Just verify that we do have a link in the on the website if you want to verify. Actually, I can verify it right now because I have it up. So, Eric, thanks for all you do for the association out there. And hey, if you want to contribute, you want to make a difference out in Boston, go for it. And hey, by the way, congratulations to the New England Patriots. Whether you were a Patriots, Seattle's, or whatever fan watching the game, it was a good game. It wasn't like last year where Denver got killed and you're thinking to yourself, what in the world just happened? I think Peyton Manning was probably feeling the same way after that game. But really good game. I think it could have gone either way. And despite all the complaining about the commercials and the halftime show, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. So, I think we need to look a little more positively when we look at that stuff. And, man, just lots of haters out there, I got to tell you. So, yeah, it's mesassoc.com. That's the website. So, anyway, we're going to get into the news next. If you have anything you'd like me to share on the program, please send your email to elevatorradioshow@gmail.com. If you prefer that I do not share it or you prefer that I share it anonymously, be happy to do that for you. Just go ahead and let me know that. And I am pretty good with keeping those under lid and not sharing anything that you want to just vent about. So feel free to send those out. I do not check the emails as often as I probably should, just mainly because I have a day job that has to pay the mortgage. So So just know that if I don't get back to you right away, I'll get back to you as quickly as I possibly can. So anyway, up next, news, and we'll have you out of here in no time.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
All right, first news article on the docket today. If we were in a courtroom, the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation has launched a new website. Pretty slick, pretty cool. I was happy to help make this all happen. I do want to shout out to Dan at Elevator World for basically being the one that got the domain name all fixed and uploaded and set, and also and Dan is one of the team members over at Elevator World. So if you're not already signed up for their e-newsletter or their information, please go ahead and do that. And just as a reminder, the AGM, Annual General Meeting, is coming up in Tampa. That's the first week in March, I want to say, but if you go to the events link, you can check that out. So, and if you do subscribe via RSS feed to any website, you can go ahead and do this here too, through Google, whatever. Whenever they post information, it'll automatically get pulled up. So that was much needed, and hopefully everybody's happy with the way that that's all set up. Okay, Elevator World Unplugged has a really cool video. Check this out. It's called a Bicycle Elevator version 1.5. Never seen it. Actually, I've seen something like this before, but it's just cool to see that it has actually been, it's still up there. So this is basically a treehouse, and there's an elevator, a bicycle elevator. It's hooked up with cables, and you pedal it and you go up and down. So I that looks kind of scary to me, but if you want to check it out, watch the video. Definitely unique, to say the least. Here we go. We're going to play the video for you. Yeah, he's riding his bike, and as he rides or pedals, he goes straight up. Pretty ingenious. If we ever get to the point, if we ever get to the point where energy becomes too much, maybe we'll have elevators that have a bunch of pedals in them that like a tandem that everybody can power the elevator up. Maybe that'll be the Stone Age. Actually, I think the Flintstones had something like that. I'll have to do some research on that. So, anyway, other than trying to get on this thing when you're 30 feet up in the air. Oh, and then it just free falls. Interesting. Oh, there's a brake that does that. That is cool. Yeah, very cool. I don't think it means any kind of safety compliance. So, and hopefully there's no day that this thing just drops out of the sky, because it looks like he's got two little turnbuckles on there. Or not turnbuckles, but cable, ties on 3/8 inch, cable, which does not look very strong. I've seen that type of braided steel cable break on some stays on a sailboat, small sailboat for that matter, and I'm like, ugh. So hopefully he doesn't get hurt or killed doing that. Okay, the Chicago Elevator Association meeting is tomorrow. It is it's going to be held at where is it going to be held at? Toscano's in Schiller Park, so it's just east of O'Hare Airport, kind of a nice neutral location. Guest speaker is going to be CodeDataPlate.com. John Merrick's coming in. It's good. It's going to be good to see him. So make sure you attend that if you want to find out what perhaps the new requirements are, or any requirements for that matter for Code Data Plates and also other code items. And thanks to John for his tireless work in serving on the elevator code. And for those of you out there that get pissed off or upset when you're dealing with the elevator code, just know that there are lots of good people out there that serve and sit on those elevator codes, many of which who, the funds to go and attend and help contribute are pulled out of their own pocket and really, are not anything other than just them trying to give back to the industry that has been good to them. So if you want to, if you're upset or you are unhappy with how the elevator code process goes through, I encourage you to get involved if you have the time. It's not a huge deal, but definitely it's not a bad thing to do as well. Okay, the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation, I don't know if many of you knew this or not, but they have a workplace giving tradition or workplace giving campaign. The idea behind this, there are some elevator companies out there already participating in this, and basically I'll let you all watch the video on your own time. But it's basically a program where you go ahead and approach or your employer or your employees, if you're a company owner, and say, hey, listen, we have a program where you can automatically deduct funds from your paycheck to go to the EESF. And thanks to many companies out there that already do this, but it's a great small way of engaging those that work on elevator equipment, those that actually maintain it or build the equipment, to give back to a worthwhile cause. So for more information on that, go ahead and click on the link. Okay, John Fellon's got some videos up, not on cats, but actually on elevator maintenance, his work in the field. John, there's just one email or one video in here I cannot post, and I think you should probably look at taking it down, is how to disable a elevator door restrictor, because that is not something that necessarily should be shared, because they are there to basically save lives down the road, and by disabling it, you've basically made the elevator not code compliant and create a safety violation. So I'm not posting any of those videos there, but if you're listening, I encourage you to take that video down. Again, because it is not something that should ever be disabled, and the elevator should be taken out of service until the door restrictor has been fixed. So, and again, I didn't watch the video from start to finish, but perhaps you mentioned that in the video, but just important to note that, because it's an important safety device. Okay, next news article coming from the KoreanTimesUS.com. But John, just so you know, I love the videos. Anyway, and I'll very insightful to see many of what your what your day typically is like. So it's interesting. Okay, anyway, the Korean Times reporting that Seoul Metro ordered to compensate man who lost 5 toes in subway station. This is an escalator accident, where, as noted in the title, that I'm not sure why it would take a district court to settle on that, but that's perhaps how their system works there. But again, the important note about this article, even though it does not take place here in the United States, is that the ruling by the judge basically was that the firm was negligent in its duty to keep its transit system safe on all occasions. Its failure caused this accident, and so yeah, again, whenever you have equipment is in the public eye or being used by the public, you are owed a certain level or degree of, and this may not be the case in South Korea, but you're owed a duty to the general riding public, to make sure the equipment that they do ride is safe. I forgot what that's called, and we talked about it on the program, but just very important. Okay, next news article. Elevator World Unplugged has another blog post over there talking. Actually, sorry, Elevator World, not Unplugged. Feature story about the Eurolift 2014 in Poland. So pretty cool. Interesting to see kind of how large their market was. They had 128 enterprises successfully showcased in Kielce. I think that's what it is. I might have pronounced that incorrectly. But that's part of Elevator World's Eurolift 2014 in their month's online extras, which you can scroll down and click on the link for that. Okay, next news article. This is kind of a weird one. I don't know if it's just my comprehension of not really understanding it, or if it is more than that. Because read this thing, and while I understand the gist of it, I am not sure by the end of it I know who is who, other than the two owners or the two people that are representing the elevator company. Interesting, to say the least. I've never seen anything like this before. Not to say it doesn't happen in other states or other areas, but the postcrescent.com is reporting on workers punished after curbing non-union elevator shop. So read through this, and it really unfortunately shows how scary and a government entity can be when dealing with A, inspections, B, regulation, and C, being involved with, how do I put this, being involved with day-to-day activities. And I can't say whether I agree or disagree with what went down here, but all I can say is if you're going to put writing in, don't put anything in writing that you may question or think to yourself, should I write this? Because the gist of this article is that a non-union elevator company was I guess reported to a Wisconsin inspection agency that a elevator company, this non-union company, was not able to service a type or inspected this type of lift, allegedly. And so when the inspection team asked to witness the ability to test certain parts of this elevator system, they weren't able to do so at the time, and then give another chance. But the reality is that if I didn't think inspection agencies were necessarily able to qualify, or inspectors were able to qualify whether or not any company was competent enough to work on equipment. And that's kind of where, there's a lot of lessons in this article, and I'm trying to be somewhat politically correct here. And so, no hate email to me. If you want to share your opinion, I have no problem. I have a feeling I understand completely where the union's coming from. I understand where the elevator contractor's coming from, who's in the story. I also have a good perspective of where the inspector sits, where Governor Walker sits. I mean, so I understand the whole thing here, but unfortunately, what really made it worse was the email that was written that you'll read in this article. So, it's a little scary. So you let everybody read this on your own. Again, I'm just the messenger here. But if you want to, shed some light on this, and actually after I read it, I didn't even look and see. I didn't even check and see what the comments were like, if there are any. Let me scroll down here. No, there's no comments at all. So just a bunch of share buttons. So yeah, I mean, as long as you're licensed in a state, or state requires certain licensing requirements, and you're able to inspect, you're able to, be there and do all the testing requirements that are required when an inspector's there, I think, you're somewhat in line with whatever the state requires. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. Read that. I just think you'll find it somewhat interesting to do so. Okay, OSHA investigating a work accident who was crushed in what sounds as if a side of the building type of construction lift. It appears that he had leaned over the side and was crushed as the lift went by. This actually happened in Chicago. Really scary. Again, just a reminder, we become a little too compliant in the environment we work in, and so make sure you're practicing safety every day. Another sad story in New York: construction worker killed after falling down UWS elevator shaft. And this is actually an older article that we did cover on a previous program. But apparently he was not an elevator guy, but there was no barrier where it needed to be, or apparently that's what the article's reporting from DNAinfo.com. And the elevator, the person was actually, fell down, but he slipped. Not good. Again, it's something you just definitely want to be aware of when we're in shafts, when we're working around all over. Okay, for those of you that don't remember, we did cover this article. Investigative reporter at the time, I don't know really where it was at, but they basically caught or had on tape, I should say, not necessarily caught, a state elevator inspector from Michigan, basically golfing on the job and falsifying records. Unfortunately, this inspector was charged with 3 counts of false pretenses in a complaint filed by Schute's office in Lansing, according to a press release issued Thursday morning. And Knoll could face up to 5 years in prison if convicted. Okay, so here's a lesson: if you're falsifying documents, or somebody is, you're doing not what you were supposed to be doing, this could happen to you. So be very aware of that. We live in a time when video recording, when tracking, all that stuff is in play, whether we know it or not, whether it violates any type of constitutional right or not. So ultimately, this is it's not good. So anyway, this is a probe revealed that Knoll allegedly used state time for personal activities in 2012, 13, 14 for a total of 84 days in question, and the cost to taxpayers more than $8,000. And if you think this is the one time that it's only happened, you'd be sadly mistaken. So I think what kills me even more is I believe that this person was put on administrative leave, paid for it while he was off. I think, I could be wrong on that, and that's typically how these type of systems go down. So anyway, so remember, you could face jail time if you do crap like this, and you're on the state dime or wherever your inspection is being done. Plus, you're not doing the job you're supposed to be doing. Okay, next news article. Times of India reports that a woman injured on a fall on an escalator, an 80-year-old woman from an area in India I can't pronounce, Palakkad, suffered injuries after she accidentally fell from an escalator on a railway station on Wednesday. Okay, so kind of scary. She was hurrying to board a train, and when you're elderly, you may not want to hurry anything along, and especially on things that are moving. So, and the next news article, which I am firmly in favor of, coming from abcnews.com, ex-CEO filmed kicking dog in elevator, charged with cruelty. I think we should all kick him. We should put him in an elevator, let him kneel like a dog, and kick him. That's, I think, a pretty good punishment. And remember he. Oh yeah, here we go. If convicted, Haig faces a maximum fine of $75,000, up to 2 years in jail, or up to a lifetime ban on owning animals. Man, lifetime ban on owning animals. How does one enforce that? Do you get like a card? Do you got prove you don't have a lifetime ban? I mean, it just seems crazy. So, lifetime ban on owning animals. I mean, I just think people like this should be kicked, treated as if they treat animals. And so again, cameras are everywhere. Anyway, well, that's going to do it for this week's program, everybody. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you found something entertaining or enlightening. And if so, please share it with anybody you would like. And all I ask is if you say, hey, I heard this on the blank, blank, blank elevator radio show, I'd appreciate it. And if not, that's totally fine. Don't worry about it. I'm not doing this for money again. I'm just trying to bring our industry together one Wednesday at a time. So, as always, be safe out there, and especially when you're shoveling snow. guess we've had 10 deaths here in Chicago relating to the shoveling or removal of snow. So make sure you're careful when that happens. And the reason behind that on the news, if you can believe it, was because it's cold outside and your blood vessels restrict, and that's why people have heart attacks. I have a feeling people are having heart attacks because they're A, overweight, B, have a high cholesterol problem, and their arteries are clogged with crap. That's my sentiment on it, and I don't think it has anything to do with the cold. But I'm not a doctor. But anyway, be careful anyway. So, all right, we'll be back next Wednesday. I'm looking forward to seeing those of you out there headed to the CEA meeting tomorrow night. Drive safely, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.